I was just sitting there on the porch of my little riverside cottage at dawn, coffee in hand, watching the mist roll off Willow Creek like it did every morning, thinking this retirement thing was finally starting to feel right after all those years chasing shadows, when this god-awful rumble shakes the whole place, and I look up to see a bulldozer barreling down my drive, followed by this neon green SUV blaring "Neighborhood Boss" in glittery stickers across the hood, like some twisted parade float from hell. Out steps this woman, Brenda Wilkins, all decked out in sequins and fake lashes that could flag down a plane, phone already glued to her hand, live streaming the whole damn thing to what she brags is 50,000 followers, yelling into the camera, "Morning, Justice Squad!" Today, we're teaching this stubborn old-timer a lesson in community dues. $900 bucks he owes, folks, and he's about to watch his hideaway turn to dust. And there I am, Jack Thompson, 67, ex-FBI fraudbuster, in my ratty robe, heart sinking as her crowd cheers, "Crush it!" in the comments, but deep down, I'm not panicking. Nah, I'm plotting. Because I knew her game from a mile away, and this wasn't about fees. It was payback, pure and vicious, from a ghost I'd buried a decade ago. See, back in my bureau days, I'd nailed Brenda for running phony investment scams, preying on folks like me now. Widowers, retirees, sucking their nest eggs dry with promises of golden returns that vanished like smoke. She did 3 years Fed time because of my case, and I guess those cell walls gave her plenty of time to stew, to twist it all into some personal vendetta, blaming me for ruining her empire. When really, she was just mad the law caught up. So here she was, reinvented as this fake neighborhood enforcer in Willow Creek, slapping made-up association fees on lonely seniors who couldn't fight back, $250 a month for upkeep, that funded her sparkle habit, late penalties tacked on like insults, no real board, no votes, just her bullying with that bulldozer as muscle. I'd smelled the scam weeks earlier, dug into county records, nothing legit filed. So I played the frail old guy, letting her rant while my phone quietly recorded every threat, every gleeful pose she struck as the dozer inched toward Sarah's old flower beds, the ones she'd planted before that crash 2 years back that stole her from me. Or so I thought. And man, that hit deep, stirring up grief I'd barely boxed away, making this feel less like a property spat and more like desecrating a grave. But as Brenda zooms in on me, smirking, "Look at this deadbeat, folks, refusing to contribute while we all pay up." Her face suddenly freezes, eyes widening like she'd seen a specter, and she blurts out, "Wait, Agent Thompson? No way! You're supposed to be washed up, alone in some forgotten hole." And bam, there it was, her slip, confessing on live stream that this was no random shakedown but revenge cooked up over years, her voice cracking with that mix of triumph and terror as she screams, "You sent me away for nothing, wrecked my life. Now feel it, watch your precious retreat crumble." The chat explodes, some still egging her on, others sniffing something off, but I'm calm, smiling inside because my kids, my sharp, Fed-trained trio, had been on standby, their texts lighting up my pocket. "Rolling in, Dad. Evidence locked." And sure enough, 3 sleek black SUVs glide up in sync, doors popping open like a scene from a thriller, and out steps Mia first, my girl from FBI fraud, hugging me casual like, "Dad, caught the stream. Are you holding up?" While Brenda sneers into her phone, "Oh, look. The pencil pusher princess arrives to whine. Think you can stop community rules with your suit?" That's when the tide turns, slow at first, then crashing. My son Ryan from Homeland steps out next, scanning the yard like he's mapping threats, badge glinting just enough for the camera to catch, and he deadpans, "Ma'am, this looks like unauthorized destruction." Ongoing probe into cross-county fraud rings, his tone all steel, no nonsense, making Brenda falter, her sequins shaking as she retorts, "Intimidation won't work, viewers. This family's corrupt. They framed me once. Now they're at it again." But the audience is shifting, comments flipping to feds. Wait, this ain't right. And then Dylan, my youngest from Postal Inspectors, joins in, snapping pics of the scene, muttering loud enough, "Mail fraud patterns here. 20 years per count if it sticks." And Brenda's nephew Neil, this jittery guy munching fries like they're his lifeline, drops his wrapper whispering, "Aunt Bren, Lisa's texting nonstop. These plates are gov, we gotta bail." His face paling as his wife bombards him with warnings from home, torn between family ties and the dawning horror of prison bars. Yet Brenda, drunk on her viewer count hitting 150,000, keeps digging, ranting about federal bullies, while Neil cracks, yelling, "I want a deal. I'll spill everything. The fake bills, The threats. And just as the dozer revs for Sarah's roses, my phone rings. Caller ID flashing Sarah Thompson, and Brenda answers on speaker, because of course she does, craving the drama. And Sarah's voice cuts through, cool and alive. "Brenda Wilkins, we've been waiting," sending the chat into frenzy. Ghost wife? Plot twist. Neil bolts for his car, but Sarah arrives in another SUV, striding up with DOJ creds, very much not dead, and confronts her. "You caused that accident to isolate Jack, didn't you? To make him vulnerable for your little empire of theft. 18 months I've been underground, piecing your web. 52 victims, $2.50 mil siphoned, fake groups in 10 states, all while you streamed your cruelty like entertainment." Brenda staggers, sputtering. "Impossible. I mourned you, sent lilies to that farce of a funeral." And Sarah fires back with that prosecutor's edge. "Mourned? You celebrated, thinking you'd broken him. But we turned your revenge into your trap, every post, every demand recorded under wiretap. The climax hits like thunder. Sarah signals, and feds swarm from everywhere, choppers whirring overhead, raiding Brenda's network coast to coast, hauling away her glittery ride while Neil spills beans to agents. His wife Lisa rushing in, tears streaming. "It's over, hun. You're free now." As victims get calls about restitution, homes saved, peace restored. Brenda's empire crumbles on her own stream, followers fleeing as truth spreads, and in court months later, Judge Harlan slams the gavel. Life without parole for systematic predation, her pleas for deals laughed off since she'd gifted prosecutors a goldmine of self-incriminating footage. We rebuilt the cottage stronger, funded by seized assets, and Sarah's Elder Safeguard Act passes, shielding seniors nationwide. Her sacrifice, faking death to burrow deep, saving hundreds from isolation's grip. But here's the rub that keeps me up sometimes. Was faking her death worth the 2 years of grief I carried? The family secrets that strained us? Or did justice demand that price to uproot something so rotten? Makes you wonder about lines crossed for the greater good. What do you think? Too far or just right? Drop a comment below, share your take on revenge, community power plays, or when feds go all in. Hit like if this hit home, subscribe for more real-life twists, and let's chat. Your story might be next.